wanted to remind everyone why I started this output for some of the work I do with U.S. policymakers. I am a moderate voter from Georgia, and particularly during the last several years, it became very apparent that my voice needed to be louder, that voices like mine in the middle needed to start drowning out the two extremes, yelling at us, telling us what to do, telling us what our opinions should be. As someone in the middle, extremists on both sides accuse us of being extremists on the other side if we say anything um, about our views that hints at all to an extreme position that one side disagrees with. And it hasn't been a fun battleground for many of us. Given that position and my mission for this channel, I did feel it was appropriate to comment on recent events regarding our past president. Since 2016, I have worked with classmate Jake Sullivan through the Clinton and Biden campaigns. As somebody from a moderate conservative background in Georgia, from a conservative family, my mission has been to put the country first. I have really appreciated former Congressman Adam Kinzinger making that a mission and an umbrella for other people to get behind. But that has been my effort because I have never thought that Donald Trump in the presidency was a good idea. I have always thought it was dangerous to the future of the republic and the democracy in the United States. That said, I also agree with former Congressman Kinzinger that it's not a fun position to be in where a former president is in this situation. Therefore, I do not know that it is necessarily a cause for rejoicing that his arrest has happened. Many of you know that I also was asked to run for Congress in Georgia 14th District, where my family has owned property for decades, against Marjorie Taylor Greene. And sadly, I was going to speak to David Ralston, the Speaker of the House for the state of Georgia, who I've known since I was 11, about that topic in the fall. And as I was trying to reach out to him, he did have significant health concerns, and unfortunately we lost him in the fall of 2020, shortly after the election was over, which is what I was waiting for. I was waiting for the election to be over before approaching him, since I thought things would be less busy. So I have a lot to say about the embarrassment that she is for the voters of Georgia and for the voters and residents of the Georgia 14th District, that my family has been members of that community for decades. Very good, hardworking people, and deserve better. So with regards to the direction things have taken with the former president, I am concerned because arresting a dangerous leader does not remove him from being dangerous for the future of the country. Hitler was arrested and published a manifesto and came back to be much more dangerous than he was the first time. I do appreciate the Atlanta efforts to arrest Donald Trump for interference in the Georgia election, because I have posted videos on this channel about what it felt like as a voter from Georgia to have the president pressure my elected officials to erase my vote. So I do feel it is very appropriate and appreciate the justice system in Atlanta and in Georgia for protecting me in that regard and seeking legal action against President Trump for that explicit abuse of democracy or threat to democracy. However, some of the other less strong cases against him will make a martyr of him. And therefore, I don't rejoice. I don't necessarily think that those are good strategic moves at this time. Some of them can seem very political. I know my father is of the opinion, a little bit extreme, that all of the efforts to hold Donald Trump accountable legally in our justice system are political. I do not agree that all of them are, but some of them that are less strong cases appear to be political moves by those members of a justice system trying to make a name for themselves, gain attention and notoriety. But as I said, as a Georgia voter, I am very grateful to the Georgia efforts to bring Donald Trump's actions threatening the election and my vote, and threatening my elected officials in Georgia who I hire, and their job is to run democratic elections. So that is one trial or one set of legal and judicial accusations against Donald Trump that I do appreciate. I do not think are political, because those are the kinds of things in precedent in our democracy that should be addressed. But on this monumentous week, where for the first time, one of the first times in history, a former president has been arrested, I did feel appropriate to make comments about that situation as a moderate voter who spends a lot of efforts and strategy trying to protect democracy for the last 7 years. I do have some opinions about this issue from a moderate point of view. That's all I have. It's basically a brief statement on this historic moment. Thank you so much for joining me, for tuning in to my channel to hear my moderate points of view in contrast to some of the other content makers who are geared toward one extreme or the other. If you appreciate my efforts to do this, please like and subscribe. I hope to bring more your way.